Hi everyone, hey, thanks for joining me today. Today's recipe, I'm making some Portobello Fajitas. This was a request by one of my viewers for a vegetarian dish, so here we go. Now, I'm gonna be marinating my portobello mushrooms with a little bit of a balsamic and olive oil marinade for a little extra flavor, a little sweetness. And I tell you, we're gonna cook up some bell peppers, and it's all gonna be done pretty much in one pan, and so it's nice and quick and easy. And we're gonna serve these up with either some flour tortillas or some corn tortillas. And if you wanna lower the carbs, then just toss out those tortillas and serve this up on some butter lettuce, which I'm gonna show you today. So I'm Rockin' Robin, and I'm gonna show you how to do it right after this. Let's go over our ingredients. First up, we have our portobello mushrooms over here. So I'm just going to take these, wipe them with a paper towel, and then slice them into nice slices. This is going to be sort of our meat of our fajitas, right? Now we'll need some onions. Here I just slice them into nice little slices. Same thing with my bell peppers. You can use any color you like, whatever your favorite is. I just slice that up nice and thin. Over here I have a Poblano pepper. This is a pretty mild pepper, so it has just a little bit of heat. I took out the seeds, and then I just chop that up, into nice little pieces. Next up we have our cheese. Now I'm using feta cheese here, and I'm going to crumble it myself. I prefer that because otherwise when you read the ingredients on that, if it's already crumbled, they've got other things in the cheese to keep it from turning into, growing mold and anti-caking ingredients, and I try to avoid those. So next up I have a little avocado. I'm just going to cut that into chunks to sprinkle on my fajitas, which I love. Sour cream here in my dispenser. A little bit of garnish of some lime juice, some cilantro, and we'll need some olive oil. And I have a nice balsamic vinegar here that's Mia's Kitchen is one of my favorites. I think it's really good stuff. And we'll need a little garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And then to serve these up, of course, we have either, your choice, flour tortillas, corn tortillas, or butter lettuce, which makes a nice little tortilla to serve it up in. Before we start cooking, we want to make our little marinade. Remember I told you about my little marinade? And all it is just a little bit of olive oil, say like 2 to 1. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil here in the bowl and a splash of the balsamic vinegar. And we can toss in a little touch of salt to that. And then I'll just whisk it. And then I'm just going to toss in the mushrooms. And we'll just let this sit for a few minutes to absorb a lot of those flavors, and then we'll start cooking. We're getting ready to cook our fajitas. So I've got a cast iron pan, and I recommend you use one if you have one. They're merely $20. They're very inexpensive, but they make the best fajitas. So I've got that heating up, and I want to make sure it's nice and hot before we add any of our food to the pan. So once it starts to almost smoke like it's starting to do right now, now I know it's ready. So here we go. I'm going to add some olive oil to the pan. We're going to cook up our onions and our bell peppers and the poblano pepper first. That way my mushrooms still have time to continue to marinate for a little bit longer. So I'm tossing all these in, and we're just going to toss them around. I'm going to toss in a little garlic powder, some pepper, and some salt. And we're going to just grill these until they get nice and charred for just a few minutes. So you can see here how nice and charred the onions are getting, right? And I have a pan right behind me here that has been sitting on the stove keeping warm, right? So I'm going to add my hot food to that, and we're going to set this aside. So I'm going to start pulling out some of the onions since they seem to be quite done, and the bell pepper could go a little longer in my opinion. This process right here, takes maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes, just depending on how hot you get your pan. All right, once that's done, I'm going to just place a piece of foil over the top of my fajitas. Now we're ready to cook up the mushrooms, so I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan again. And we're just going to cook these up for just a couple of minutes until they soften up. So while the mushrooms are cooking up, go ahead and heat up some corn tortillas if you're gonna use those as your base. And I have a tortilla warmer here that I like to use to keep them warm after I heat them up. All right, the mushrooms are done, so I'm just gonna place them right here into my dish, and everything stays nice and warm. All right, these are ready. Let's serve them up. I've got tortillas, I've got butter lettuce, however you want to make it. I'll start with a corn tortilla here. And then I'm going to place on some of the mushrooms. That's sort of our meat mixture. And get a combination of those onions and the poblano. I cut up my avocado into chunks, and then I sprinkled, or I kind of drizzled the lime juice over the top to keep it from turning brown. I would probably put that next. Got a little cilantro, just chop that up, put that on top. The cheese, put a little sprinkle of that, and if you want sour cream, of course vegetarian, you may not, and the cheese too, so you can leave that off. All right, and then to do the other one, the other version with the the butter lettuce, basically the same thing. You just pile it on and enjoy. So I'm going to take a little taste of this one I just made, let you know how it tastes. That portobello mushroom has a beautiful meaty flavor to it with that balsamic. It has a little bit of sweetness. When you've got the poblano pepper in there, it gives just a hint of heat. It's such a beautiful combination, guys. You're going to love this. And that cast iron pan just puts that nice char on your vegetables. The flavors are right up there, boy. It's just delicious. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and share it. I always appreciate that. And of course, leave me a comment. If you have any recipe requests for me, let me know. This was one, so thank you very much. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't and you want to see more videos like this one. So click that subscribe button, and that way you'll know every week when a new video comes out. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next time in the next video.